I'm McCauley. I'm a Praedoff in Syracuse, New York. And you know, we've been talking for the past few weeks about self-sabotage. It's a topic that I think we all have, and most of us don't even realize that we're doing it. It's so self-conscious. It's so habitual. These are habits that we've gotten into in 20, 30, 40, 50, on up years. And the first thing I want to talk about is how to finally feel good enough to deserve better. We need to believe in our hearts that we deserve better than what we used to think we deserved. You know, for example, doesn't it seem like pushing forward in one area of your life must be balanced by slipping backward in another? You know, we're trying to eat less and move more, and then, you know, we seem to do good on the eating less, but then we can't do the move more. And it reminds me of people at Lent. So many people said, I gave up chocolate. Of course, I'm having a bag of chips every day, but I'm not eating chocolate. You know, we do well in this one area, we backslide in another, and we're not striving for perfection here. We're striving to do the best we can. You know, so often we think, I'm not worth the effort. I'm not worth it. Aren't we worth it? This is it. This is us. So often we think that everyone else and everything else is more important than us. Our kids come first, our job comes first. You know, we're tired from work, we're tired from taking care of the kids, we're tired, and what do? We don't eat less, we don't move more. And that's why, I don't know if I shared last week, but you know, with the empty nest that we have, you know, one of the things people do is bucket list. And what I said that I wanted to do is some priorities. God and faith and my immortal soul is number one. Number two is my health. And then number three is family and friends. Because if I put family and friends before my health, which I did for decades, I get in trouble. And then number four is to get money, get out of debt, get retirement. Look, I was so worried about number four, and it's number four. God, health, family, friends. We need to prioritize what we need to do. And you know, so often in our lives there's been trauma, shame, loss. Not everybody, but a lot of us, our self-sabotage was born early in life. You know, my dad, my parents had us really young, you know. My mother was 38 years old when I graduated from high school, and I thought she was ancient. I had a baby at 41, and here my mom's 38. But my dad had a really rough life, and without going into tons of details, I mean, his dad dropped dead. He was an engineer on the Larry Lackawanna, left his mother with nothing and 7 kids, and then his brothers all went to work at this great job called Hooker Chemical, where they lived in Love Canal, and then they started dropping dead, brain cancer, this, that. So my father had this phrase, can't never be happy. You can't never be happy because that other shoe's going to drop. And when you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you hear all the time that you can't ever be happy because that other shoe's going to drop, pretty soon you grow up and you think, I can't ever be happy because the phone's going to ring, something's going to happen. And I have finally, through the grace of God and this group and a lot of work, said, wait a minute, I can be happy. I can be happy in the face of adversity. I can take care of myself. But it's something that you make a conscious effort. And we're going to take a conscious effort to feel like we deserve the best. Because we don't even seem conscious, like I mentioned, of this backsliding. And it's a vicious cycle. You do really well, and then you feel, I'm tired of this. I've had a bad day. Then you gain the weight back. And what we need to work on is this. We need to work on giving ourselves a break for failing to achieve all the expectations that you or society or your family, friends, and partner think that you should have achieved up to this point. We need to just give ourselves a break. You know, my goal is to weigh in the 190s. Now, I probably, on those charts, I probably should weigh 145. Society thinks I should weigh 145. I don't care what society thinks because I'd be saying, 190, praise you, Jesus. I'd be happy there. My stats are good. Now, if I weighed 190 and I went to the doctors and he said, oh, your blood pressure's high, your cholesterol, you're going to lose 20 pounds, that's one thing. But we don't have to say, I have to mirror what society says. I have to mirror what this chart does. We need to forgive ourselves for all the concentration we had on thinking we needed to do those things. Forgive ourselves for deep-rooted self-loathing. And remember I talked about the barriers to weight loss and how we were ticking the list? Well, this one that we're doing is number 3, an impaired DQ, a desirability quotient. We think we don't deserve it. We think we do not deserve to lose the weight. We need to be more optimistic about our future and have realistic expectations. How many times do you say, you know what, I should be at my goal weight and my house really should be clean and it's dirty and I should be more organized and I should have more money and I should, you know, or someone comes to your house, you're like, oh, it's a mess, oh, it's this, you know. How many times, like maybe once in a blue moon, someone drops by and your house is perfect? Is it ever perfect when someone unexpectedly drops by? It's not. You live there. So just say, hey, welcome. They're thinking about their own messy house. So the first step we need to do is forgive ourselves for being fat. Forgive ourselves. Forgive ourselves for however we got here. Just say, you know what? I got some weight to lose. However it happened, I forgive myself. And you know what's so funny is so many people think if you do have weight to lose that you're kind of like a psycho. Like you have all these like crazy problems that you're a psycho and you're eating all these bonbons because you're just so unstable. And you know, our addiction shows up so that everyone can see. You know, if someone's watching bad things on a computer late at night, no one sees their addiction. Or if someone's a closet smoker, no one sees their addiction. But if we eat too many Twinkies, people are looking. Have you ever heard the phrase fat and sloppy? Fat and sloppy. She's fat and sloppy. Well, I'll tell you something. I was 370 pounds, and you know what? I was never sloppy. Ever. I had my hair done. I had my makeup on. I had size 3X, 4X, but they were designer. I was never sloppy. So don't say fat and sloppy. We need to say, we got to one point, and I could go, we all could, on and on and on about how we got to where we are today. But let's just say, you know what? It is what it is. I'm here today. I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to forgive myself for having 5 sausage sandwiches at the fair and go forward. I'm going to forgive myself for having the Twinkie wrapped in bacon, dipped in Snickers, whatever it was. I'm going to forgive myself. We are going to go forward. But when we think we violate the beauty standards, and the funny thing is, you get away with it a little more the older you get. I've noticed that. No one expects you to be, you know, all slinky when you're 60. You know, but when you're 25 or when you're 20, you're supposed to be at your goal weight. You're supposed to be sashaying around. When I was younger, I felt it so much more. Now at 60, I'm like, I'm just happy to be kicking. You know what I mean? But so many times people think something's wrong with you if you're fat. It assumes you're so weak and so like just sitting around not doing anything. I worked. I had 4 children. I was never fat, sloppy, or lazy. Ever hear that? Fat and lazy. I was never lazy. I can look around this group and say, anybody who's got weight to lose, you're not lazy. I know you. Some people are prejudiced against fat people. I call it the last prejudice that's really acceptable. You know, because they think everyone should be at a certain weight. We need to say that in this society, some people are naturally thin, and some people aren't. This is our cross to bear. I could eat lettuce leaves and probably never get to 145 because my body wasn't made that way. This is our cross to bear. What we're supposed to be, though, is healthy. And you know what's really funny? Do you ever see thin and sloppy people? Because I do. Do you ever see thin and lazy people? Because I do. Do you ever see thin and psycho people? I do. I see a ton of thin psycho people. They have a lot of issues. They have a lot of self-loathing, a lot of problems. It's just their thing is they can do whatever they want and they're still thin. Don't judge us. Let's not judge ourselves. I'm going to stop right there, Bob.